Give me a yes if you agree that integration is something that we have to re-examine. Give me a yes if you agree that integration is something that maybe we have to really study to determine just what we gained and what we did not gain, like what we gained and what we lost. See, that's the interesting thing about integration is that just from the jump, the conversation about integration is typically one where we are told that it was a net gain, that you know that that anything other than integration is bad. You know, any reference to Black people being separated or put in a different category or doing their own thing or having their own stuff, that's just bad. That it's bad to even consider the idea that integration was anything other than a wonderful godsend sent to us from heaven, where we somehow have access to this better life. And one of the reasons why I think my lucky stars for Dr. Claude Anderson and also for people like Dr. George C. Frazier, who, by the way, is another goat. He's one of the goaties of the goats, and he's actually doing his conference. It's called Power Networking. And Dr. Frazier is going to join us in the Black Business School, by the way. These are the types of people that we like to recruit and work with. We like to work with people that deserve additional attention. You know, if I work with an entertainer, it has to be an entertainer that I respect on a certain level. So like D1, I'm bringing D1 into our financial consciousness training tomorrow because D1 is one of the few rappers I know who's made a lot of money without having to sell his soul and without having to support what the music industry has done to destroy the Black family. He doesn't have to support what the music industry has done to ruin young Black men. He doesn't have to support what the music industry has done to degrade and deface the image of the Black woman around the world. So, so basically, Dr. George C. Frazier, you know, when you talk to him, you know, one thing that he explains very well is that we got to figure it out. We have to figure it out. And we have to get it together. You know, he explains that he says, you know, white folks ain't really even thinking about you like that. You live your whole life centered around what they think about you and what they want and how to make them happy. He said they ain't thinking. He said, you know what white folks are thinking about? What do y'all think white folks are thinking about? Put it in the chat. What do you think the average white person thinks about? They're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about each other. They're thinking about their own families. They're thinking about their own community. They're not really thinking about like, okay, how do we just really make sure we keep oppressing Black people today? They're not thinking about that. Now they might be thinking, you know, Black people are very easy to oppress. I'm surprised that these people let us do what we're doing. I'm surprised that these people behave this way and put themselves in this spot over and over. I'm surprised these people trust us the way they do, right? I think they might be thinking that, but I don't think they're sitting around just constantly obsessed with us the way we're obsessed with them. And so Dr. Frazier is a great man also because this is the kind of guy that I think Black people should listen to because what he talks about is the fact that the only thing that you really need is each other. The only thing that you need is yourself. And so ultimately, that's what I also believe. I believe that we have enough right now. I believe that we are the chosen ones when it comes to our success. I believe that our success is our responsibility. I believe that it's going to have to be our job because I don't think that doing stupid stuff and then complaining about the results is going to get us the results that we're looking for. I don't think that going along with bad ideas and then complaining about the results of those bad ideas, like saying, oh my God, I'm oppressed. Look at how hard it is to be Black. Repeating the same statistics every year, because that's what we do. We just every year you go to the NAACP awards or the Urban League stuff or whatever, or the National Action Network, and they'll remind you how hard it is to be Black and how Black people are behind in pretty much every functional category known to man. And then it's like, okay, so what's your answer? Did you finish the equation? I mean, you know, you started things, but did you finish the discussion? Because finishing the discussion, it must end with a solution. And if the solution is we're going to keep asking white people for more jobs and more DEI, that's not a solution. To say that, oh, this is why we all got to make sure we show up and vote for Joe Biden for the 50th time. That's not a solution that's been proven to work. You know, if the solution is we're going to go march and protest and scream at the top of our lungs to make sure everyone knows how much we're suffering, that's not a good solution. effectively what that does is it makes absolutely 100% sure that if there are people, if there are malevolent people that want to oppress you, it makes 100% sure that they know that they're doing an effective job. You know, when you are being outrun by an adversary and they're winning the game, 185-4, and you're crying about it, basically what you're doing is you're telling your adversary, good job. You're letting the adversary know, okay, yeah, we're very weak over here. They say you shouldn't let your adversary know your weakness. You're telling them, hey, what you're doing is working. Keep it up, bud. That's what you're doing. You're not really creating a scenario where things are going to get better for you. And this is important to think about in the context of what's happening now in our society. Right now, there's a whole debate about diversity, equity, and inclusion. There's a whole debate over whether or not it was right for them to brutally destroy thousands of jobs right after all the DEI stuff went away, and suddenly they're going through and they're literally eliminating entire offices. Corporations are ripping up their DEI statements, which they hastily wrote during in 2020 just to appease you politically, so you would make sure that you voted for who they wanted you to vote for. And we're just screaming about it. But the question becomes, do you have a solution that you can use that does not involve simply sitting there and crying like a little child? Do you have a grown-ass solution? Do you have a grown-up? If you have no grown-up solution, then I don't know what you think is actually going to work. I don't. So I really think that in terms of so-called Black leadership, I think that we need more problem solvers in leadership spaces. That will be the short answer to my question. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read more tonight from the GOAT, Dr. Claude Anderson. And also, I'm going to take my face off the screen because I don't want my wonderfully handsome face to be a distraction to you, because I know that it can sometimes make us take our minds off everything. So what I'm going to do is, and also I'm kidding, I'm really being silly. The Wi-Fi is shaky in these hotels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my face off the screen and I'm going to actually share a slide with you. And some images that kind of reflect what we're talking about tonight. So I think that the big question that we should ask as a community, and this question is being asked without any permission from white people. White people did not give me permission to have this conversation, nor could they ever, is integration. Did that ruin Black wealth? Did integration destroy wealth in the Black community? And so I'm going to read from Dr. Claude Anderson's book. His book is called The Black History Reader. You can get a copy of the book. You can either go to powernomics.com. That's his website where you can get all of his books. And also, if you go to drboycebooks.com, there are some books of his in Dr. Boyce books, right? And also there's like bundle packs and stuff that we have where you can get his book and my book at the same time. I'll share that link with you. And so I'm going to start on page 109. And also, if you're not on the text list to get invitations to our weekly book club meetings, just pull out your phone right now and put in the phone number 87948. Somebody type that in the chat. Put 87948 in the text in your phone, and then text one word to that phone number. The word is greatness. Text the word greatness to 87948, and I will invite you to our weekly Powernomics training. This is what we're all about in the Black Business School. So it says here, question 35 is this: were Blacks legally or symbolically emancipated from institutionalized enslavement? And this is an important question to say, like, well, how did you get free? What happened? What happened during slavery? When Black people were released from slavery, who did it? What exactly happened? Why do y'all out here lying on your ancestors? They out here telling y'all fairy tales in public school. That's what they're doing. They're telling us a bunch of stuff that may or may not have happened the way that they say that it did. And we ultimately are in this weird situation where we're getting all these stories from people, but in a way, it's like history for Black people becomes like a big whodunit. It's a whodunit because we don't know exactly what occurred. We just know what they told us. So here is what Dr. Anderson says. This is his version of history, because as you guys know, I believe that as Black people, we have to teach ourselves our own history.